Congrats, Sean, your 300 games. It's been great getting to know you the last couple of years. Yeah, you've been an excellent role model, looking after me, even on road trips, and yeah, it's been awesome. Can I talk about like cool. When we went to Bendigo and like I threw up and you looked after me, it was really cool. You give me a lot of shit over the years, but it's always been good. So, cheers.
Opportunity to talk about Sean Carroll. Where do I start? I've known Shawnee probably the last 10 years, and Graham Longstaff and Damon Cotter came to me one day and suggested that I might like to take him on board as assistant coach in the under-12s to help me out with a young talented group. And they thought it would also be beneficial to me to have Shawnee with the knowledge he had of the game, but what a bad decision that was. So getting an assistant coach, I ended up with probably an 11th player and probably more immature than the other kids I had in the under-12s. Some examples of that would be that there was one particular game where we're sitting on the bench and I turned around and Sean's disappeared, and I think we're at Nuttawaddy, and I looked over at the canteen and there's Shawnee getting himself a hot dog. And he comes back and just sits next to me and looks at me and says, "What's your problem?" I was hungry. There'd be times that you'd be training and you'd be huddling in the middle of the court and Shawnee would be throwing up half-court shots and hitting kids in the head when you're trying to get them to focus. Or he'd be texting during timeouts or something like that. So, concentration wasn't one of his strengths. The other thing that comes to mind with Sean is there was a game up at, I think it was up at Ballarat, one game, and we were in a little bit of trouble, and Shawnee sort of got pretty hot in the last quarter and had about 19 points. So we came from a long way down, and Shawnee pretty much carried the team on his back, and we got up for a 3-point win. The concern amongst the guys though was who was going to have to put up with Sean on the way home down the highway back to Melbourne, because being a Carroll, he's prone to talk a lot. I think it must have been Lester's first year, and Lester sort of not knowing the guys that well, probably a little bit naive, volunteered to give Sean a lift home, and I can remember we were driving home, Graham and I were driving home, and we pull up beside Lester in the car there, and here he is. He's got the earphones on, and no doubt the beats were pumped up as high as they could possibly be, and we look across and there's Sean, and his mouth is going like this. So he didn't care whether Lester was listening or not. Shawnee was telling about how good his game was. That's our boy Shawnee. People know about Sean in terms of his ability on the court. Probably the things that they don't get to see is the off-court things. Well, I could tell you many stories, but I won't do this to you, Sean. But let's talk about what his good and bad habits are. Bad habits. He's not the most punctual person. When we're on the road, late for breakfast, turn up with his head on backwards. Shawnee's not a morning person, so we come to accept that. His good points, I'll get back to you on that. Anyway, Shawnee, mate, congratulations. You've been an absolute stalwart at the club. You've been a junior, come all the way through, made state teams. You've been a great role model for the kids. You've put a lot of time into coaching juniors, and here you are, 300 games, and 26 years of age in the Seabull League. It's a fantastic effort. Credit to you and the coaches you've had bringing along the way, and mate, I hope there's more to come. Good luck.